Take a seat, take a breath. Got a feed that decides life and death. Every chart is a mountain, a meme, a decree. Is this genius or mass lunacy? So with me, down the swamp mentality, where a frog with sunglasses screams we're early endlessly. Oh, see, bulls and bears and fantasy, every post's a prophecy. It's nothing make-believe. If you want to read what passes for a master plan, simply click and flick your thumb across this broken land. Want to know which way the winds of crypto might just be? Oh, scroll me. One says up, only friends. Next says this is how it ends. Someone's calling the top, someone's buying the dip, someone's typing a thread as their last relationship slips. Scroll with me through the fear and ecstasy, where a chart in crayon gets 1,000 hearts for free. You'll see every hot take, every plea. I was right in 23. Trust the vibe, ignore the spreadsheet. If you want to gauge if hope or panic's in command, if they're building castles or just castles in the sand, want to test if we're all early or just fantasy? Slow with me. Is it signal? Is it noise? Are we traders? Are we toys? Every candle, every coin is a cult you can join. Slow with me, let the chaos be our key. Read the mood like it's a map to some great mystery. You'll see faith and doubt in harmony. I'm all into, I'm set free.
In one day and one same tweet.
If you want to know if folks are brave or out of time, if they're quietly convicted or have simply lost their minds, then my friend, you found the perfect place to start this stream. So scroll with me.
I don't know why I always feel like I need a musically segue from the song to the. I should just like run a didgeridoo or something. But G scroll to all who celebrate. It is Monday, June 1st. We are officially halfway through the year. Holy fuck! No, bah. Yeah, that's crazy that we're actually halfway through 2026. That's wild. But hello to everybody watching. My name is Dude Lifts. This is Scroll With Me. This is where we scroll the timeline of Twitter together. Is there any other timeline, to be fair? And we try to discern the state of the world. You know, we try to kind of read the tea leaves of the vibes, whatever the algorithm is feeding us on the For You page, to try to better understand ourselves, really. This is a journey of introspection. It's a journey of self-discovery. It's a journey of self-actualization. We're actually climbing Maslow's hierarchy of needs by doing this. So if you think to yourself, what am I doing here? Spending 30 minutes watching this guy scroll Twitter, just know that you are actually on the road to enlightenment. I said what I said, but alas, let's get to what you're here for. Maybe actually I'll do a little vibe call. I know I've been encouraged to do that, to say like, what are the vibes, right? Like shoot your shot. Babe Ruth, where's the bat? I got to say hype was pumping on the weekend. Michael Saylor sold some Bitcoin. Not sure if that's bearish or bullish. But yeah, hype was pumping. What else? I mean, what else is going on? Hype was pumping. No, I'm just kidding. So there's been some fairly successful degen mints. I don't know. I feel like vibes are good. I think that a lot of people are saying that maybe the stock market has a blow off top. Maybe SpaceX IPO is that, and then it makes its way into crypto. I could subscribe to that theory. I mean, I just think there's no reality where a bajillion millionaires get minted and not one of them is some degenerate fuck. You know what I mean? It only takes one of them. So let's get to scrolling. Let's see. So I'd say vibes are up. By the end of the stream, I'm calling it. I don't know if I've ever said vibes are down. So that being said, I don't know how trustworthy my vibe predictions are, but I think my vibe assessments, maybe one tweet at a time, are fairly helpful. All right, let's get into it. So we get the first tweet here, and it was the first tweet. It's the For You page the timeline provides. For those of you who haven't been around, the timeline provides, we understand I do not manipulate the timeline. It is the For You page the timeline provides, and we simply place our faith in it. So we've got Burnt Toast here. It says, art is not made for anybody and is at the same time for everybody. Piet Mondrian or PA, not sure. Monty says Mondrian TM. Mondrian TM. And dude, look at this. Look at this. Doodles is a lens. Look at this doodleification of Piet Mondrian. Dude, so the Elmon X account dropped the official drop details that the Doodles and Mondrian collection is going to be dropping officially on OpenSea June 4th. I don't know, dude. Some of my favorite pieces of art. I never do this, but I'm gonna fucking do it. We're clicking in here. We're gonna see some shit. I mean, look. Okay, so look. Boom, that piece of artwork. Okay, here's my favorites right here. Here's my favorites. Mellow, hold on. Mellow, look at that cat. Incredible technology. And then this black and white one, I mean, just chef's kiss. And that's only the digital ones. The print ones, dude, don't even get me started on the print ones. I don't think they even show up in this one. You have to click into the OpenSea link, so you'll have to click in yourself to find it. But yeah. Dude, what was crazy is I went to a restaurant over the weekend, and it's called like the Greenhouse, a California inspired restaurant. I was like, that's a weird thing to say, but okay. But dude, I felt like I was in the fucking, the Matrix for a second there, because the doors to the restaurant had stained glass in the style of Mondrian. And I was like, I can't escape it. It's everywhere. It's one of those things that's like when you're shopping for a car and you're like, wonder how popular these cars are. And then you see it everywhere. Yeah, that's been happening to me with Mondrian. It's been so cool to see. And I feel like this was also true with the Back to the Future drop for Doodles. And I swear I'll stop talking about Doodles and pumping my own bags. But with the Back to the Future drop, everyone, like so many like collectors of Back to the Future stuff came out of the woodwork, and it was so cool to see. I feel like I've seen the exact same thing happen with Mondrian. So very cool. Very cool. Let's just give a little straight refresh. We got 70 posts in the fucking chamber. So let's give a little refresh here. And dude, shout out to Monty being in the chat. Be more like Monty. I know it's Monday morning. We got Pokemon here revealing things. We got Ash Robin trading meme coins. Market is back. Discord, Twitter. Not sure what Discord, Twitter means. But I love to see it. I did see that the Ash just got signed on as like a FOMO creator. So congratulations to him. That's so cool. Dude has been straight up in the trenches. Yeah, it's been awesome. Whoa, got the 776 Cerebro MCP running my life now. Gonna need to check in on that, Alexis. Gonna need to find out what the vibes are, because we in there. You know what I mean? All right, let's see here. Bengoya says, the guy literally buys... Oh, we got Reef in the chat saying, what's up, big guy? What's up to you? Bengoya says the guy literally buys billions of dollars worth of BTC each month. Billions. The second he sells for 2 million, CT thinks the world is ending. Yeah, so okay. So that's the... Yeah, I think he sold like 2 million. I don't know if it was just like, maybe this was like a test transaction or something. Like, I don't know. For him, I mean, all right, let's see. Monty says the OG blockchain and contracts would be giving the estate royalties, which was the OG idea for this market, for artists and for everyone. Monty dropping bars in the chat. Okay, ironically, Mando with the bold Leonidas, hyperliquid. I mean, that's literally that was the intro to the show. What's going on today? Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid. All right, Gary Vaynerchuk. Oh, it's too long. I'm sorry, Gary. I'm sorry, Gary. Shiv says, imagine traveling to a country and tweeting, I'm inside you. Couldn't be me. I would say absolutely to me as well. I'm hoping that no one goes to my Twitter history and sees that I've done that. Maybe I have. Maybe I have. Oh, Reef says, always wanted to ask you, you can DM me. Where did you get those walls for collection? No need to DM. We don't gatekeep around here. But let me at first take a sip of coffee. Ooh. And for those curious, sipping on a Columbia Geisha blend. Really weird because this particular coffee shop recently had a geisha, which is apparently the traditional spelling and pronunciation of this type of coffee, because that's where it's from. And then it got bastardized with geisha somehow. But then they also labeled this bag geisha. So your boy's confused, but it's delicious. So, ooh, drinking homemade strawberry milk tea, Reef says. Nice. Okay. But okay, so back to the question. These wall panels are called wall control. So I got these from my garage gym days, or at least learned about them. They're great. They're like pegboard on steroids. So you can use traditional pegboard attachments or these specific wall control attachments, which has like a lot of different variety. It's a lot stronger. Like I have a wall control attachment that has like a coat hanger. It's hanging jackets and crazy shit. So it can hold a lot of weight. And I have a shitload of them. So if you look back, if you kind of search my Twitter history, search like office or something, you'll see some of the larger pictures of it. But I love them. They're great. Infinitely flexible. Would recommend 11 out of 10. Let's keep going. Reactivating vibe code mode. GM internet friends. It's a pudgy world and we're living in it. Dude, shout out to Pudgy. I just got my, and Reef says, shout out for the info. Absolutely. Anytime. So, my wife and I just got our Pudgy Perfect Pair keychains. Incredible. Great work by the Pudgy team. Such a crucial representation of the brand. I heard a clip from Peter, Chef Goyardee, the other day. I forget which podcast he was on recently. Maybe it was Chinsanity, but he's basically saying, when I send someone a Pudgy meme or Pudgy GIF, and I think he was saying like what I want the brand to be is like, when I send someone that, I want them to know that like I'm thinking of you. They've really leaned into relationships, right? And I think that's there. I'm speaking in the third person now. I've talked a lot about how a lot of the kind of NFT projects are kind of carving their lane. And that's the deepening of their lane. That's their kind of moat that they're digging out, if that makes sense. Just made up that corporate term. Oh, good. Dig the moat. But hashtag dig the moat. So yeah, they're doing relationships, right? And like, for example, Doodles is not that. I don't send someone a Doodles meme and they go, oh, they're thinking of me. That's so cute. That's not the Doodles brand, as where Pudgy's really leaning into that. A lot of their reels are directed that way. Now their physical goods are directed that way. It's awesome. They have their main characters. I mean, talk about top-down branding. Their main characters are a couple. They're equal penguins, right? As for example, to kind of give a differing, Curtis, solo bro, from Bored Apes, Doodles, Happen Mellow, a plucky inventor and his mischievous cat. Do you know what I mean? Totally different relationship dynamic. So yeah, very cool to see for them and great product. We got Will Weinrob here. New month, new possibilities, new opportunities. Let's get after it. Absolutely. Dude, absolutely. Monty asked if I played Pudgy World. I believe I have an account and I think I played once. Honestly, I should have played more. But so I think I've played once. Let's see. Hello, NYC. Who's coming to the 11 Labs pop-up this week? Wow. Dude, imagine being in Tech Week in New York right now. Let's see here. Okay. I've been curious about this. Introducing NVIDIA DGX Station for Windows, the world's most powerful desk-side AI supercomputer with Windows powered by NVIDIA. Run frontier AI models up to 1 trillion parameters locally. Oh, my. Yeah. Bro. Shit. How much? How much? They don't say. I'll have to find out. A 1 trillion parameter model, that's pretty sick. I think that's like a Kimi K2.6 level model, which is pretty sick. Which, I mean, what a moment of silence. We're just praying for the Mac M5 Max to come out with 512 gigabytes of RAM. We're just praying for that. All right, we've got, oh my gosh, look at this. Okay, so this is Bucket Man. A lot of people may not be familiar with Bucket Man, but it's essentially an offshoot of Azuki IP. This gentleman who has a history, I forget his name off the top of my head, his history in the film industry or film and movie industry, film and TV, whatever, has like gone full bore making this Bucket Man IP. Is doing a really good job. So this is sick. This is sick. Dimcat in the chat saying GM. I think Monty was giving me a face bomb for not playing as much Pudgy World as I should, which and I agree. I agree. No, you'll hear no objection from me. All right, let's give a little refresh. We got a couple minutes on the clock. Dude, Reed says GM everyone. GM Reed. Dude, honestly, bro, Reed has some of the best GMs. And this is one of the things that I've talked about. Is like Doodles AI makes all old things new again. Can you GM in the year Anno Domini 2026? It's a difficult game. Unless you're Reed, unless you have Doodles AI. Then I wake up, I see this, and I go, ah. And some might say that that's Doodles' unfair advantage. That's the moat that we're digging. We don't want to a little nose breath chuckle. Maybe sometimes a little satirical, but mostly, Monty says we need an hour of this, dude. I've tried to do Scroll With Me for an hour. I feel like sometimes I run out of steam, to be honest. And I'm fairly extroverted, like being, excited, whatever kind of typically gives me energy. But maybe it's something about the algorithm. There's just like not enough content to go for an hour. And I also break all the rules. I only stream for 30 minutes. I try to do it every day, but I sometimes don't do it every day. You know what I mean? So it's like I break all the rules. And so, and not to mention, I do have an actual job, which is really funny because a lot of people see this and it's a very outward facing thing that I do, obviously. And someone recently DM'd me. They're like, so like, do you just like, do you just scroll Twitter? Is that your job? I was like, I only do it for 30 minutes a day, at least on camera. God, I hope that's not my entire job. I would be a sad, sad person. But alas. AP says, hope I can cop. Did. You'll be able to cop. You'll be able to cop. Situation detected. Thanks, MTS. They really could have a graphic here. Senator Bernie Sanders has called for a new law granting the federal government a 50% stake in each AI lab to create a public sovereign wealth fund. What? What's up, dude? What? Dude, Bernardo says happy June to all who celebrate. And I agree. Okay, here it comes. Ladies and germs, WWDC, June 8th. Typically software related, but NVIDIA just drops this heater. The new Apple CEO is a hardware guy. Can we see that M5 Max? Can we see that dedicated AI hardware? I mean, please. I need it. I need to run Frontier models at home. I need it. Be incredible. Whoa. I've gamified my own run so I can race my own ghosts with the Meta Ray-Ban display. Holy shit. That's crazy. Love that. 3 must-read crypto AI protocol mechanisms. Okay. You've got me intrigued. I'll bookmark that. I'll bookmark it. Let's see here. Who wants to see the European edition of Miami Vice? LOL. All right. Dude, and Jack with a clip. Hopefully this clip cooks and he gets 1 million views. All right, we're doing a little refresh. See what I'm saying about the timelines? Mondrian, but in the Doodle verse. Yes. Doodles is a lens. Ooh, Pumpkade is now a tier 1 Cloudflare startup. We just received $350,000 in credits for their build and scale our platform. Pumpkade. Yes. Dude, a lot of people don't know this. You can get an absolute, and I'm not saying this to minimize what, because I'm not too familiar with Cloudflare, but you can get an absolute shitload of credits. AWS, Google Cloud, for if you have a startup, you can get an absolute shitload of credits from these companies. So go apply. Go apply. Ronnie Guy says June is going to be a vibe. Dude, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Road to hopefully 30 million. Dude, congrats. Congrats. All right, we got a Pudgy Badger here says, no achievement in this space will ever be enough for some people as a brand or project. No matter what you deliver, someone will always find a way to dump on you. Ship a product, not good enough. Grow a community, must be bots. Land a partnership, oh, look, it's paid. Some people's full-time job is tearing down the people actually building. The space is small enough that one project winning is good for all of us. We're supposed to be on the same team, but unfortunately, it ain't the case. I guess it ain't surprising, though. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, experienced this recently with the Modrine drop. There was like several comments right off the bat. They were like, what is the licensing structure with the Modrine estate? It's not on their website. And I was like, yeah, that's not irregular. Like, it is licensed with the Holtzman Mondrian estate. Dude, there was a launch a while back when we launched Doodles AI. So Doodles AI, we had hoped that we would have a kind of Studio Ghibli moment, that it would go viral. And we hope maybe we would dominate the timeline for a day, right? But it just went fucking nutty. Like, it just kept it going in concentric algorithmic circles and expanding further and further out. The algorithm did what the algorithm does. And so, millions of impressions, 40,000 tweets, associated with it, trending on Twitter multiple days in a row. And people who, I don't know, were suspicious, concerned, trolling, maybe actually concerned. I'm not going to ascribe motive. Were convinced that it couldn't be possible. Had to be paid KOL campaigns. And I guess I don't blame him to some degree because of the way the crypto Twitter works. But it was like, don't panic. It's organic, baby. Not paid. Not paid. So sometimes you have to educate and be patient. Oh, but it's 9 a.m. You guys know the vibe. I've got a meeting to run to. I almost was about to be late, so I'm going to stop yapping. And until next time, I'll see you on the timeline.